Hi, this is Ushio, and today I'm going to talk about upcoming manga in 2016. It's now the end of 2015 and everything's people are settling down for the end of the year. But looking forward, there's quite a lot of new manga coming out next year. I thought it'd be quite fun to have a look at what's going on. Obviously, a lot of this manga hasn't been printed yet, and so I have no video to share. So this is kind of like a visual podcast more than anything else. It's not really a video. So feel free to put some headphones on, do something else, and I'll just have a little bit of a chat in the background. But yeah, I was going to do like a top 10 things to look forward to, but there's kind of too many titles. I'm just going to reel off some stuff that I thought looked interesting that's coming up. Some stuff I don't really know anything about, so it's going to be quick. Some stuff I have a bit more to talk about. Okay, so we shall get going. Quite toward the end of the year, Seven Seas announced quite a lot of stuff. Seven Seas, they do seem to specialise in a lot of like a supernatural moe kind of titles, so if that's your bag, just look at their catalogue. They've got a lot more of that coming out. One that caught my eye was called Holy Corpse Rising. I don't know anything about it, and yeah, looks interesting just by the... I've seen one image of it and I'm like, yeah, it could be interesting. A bit more of a realistic style, not the typical cutesy style that Seven Seas like to put out. It's a bit more, I don't know, I think voluptuous is the kind of image I've seen. But it could be interesting, I'm not sure. And also coming out from Vertical is Princess Jellyfish, which everybody and their dog seems to be hyping this one up. So this is something I've definitely got my eye on. I've not caught the anime, unfortunately, so I've got not much to add about it. I will get better as this video goes on. I'm getting through these early ones quick, but Princess Jellyfish is definitely on my to read list as soon as it comes out. I'm going to try and be grabbing hold of it. Next up is Otherworld Barbara, which is by Moto Hagio, and to my shame, one of those authors, one of those creators I've yet to read anything of. They're very celebrated and everybody likes her work. A very famous shoujo artist, and it looks really nice. It's coming out in the summer. It looks expensive, but then it is Fantagraphics and they do put out high quality works. Most likely it's going to be a massive hardback book that will just look amazing, but that looks cool. I might try and check out some. I've got a couple of books already, so maybe I'll try and read up before that one comes out, and hopefully we can gauge whether Otherworld Barbara is going to be worth it. Also out next year is Inyo Asano. Like Moto Hagio, it's not another author that so far has passed me by, but everybody really seems to love. So next year we got A Girl on the Shore coming from Vertical, and Goodnight Pum Pum from Viz Media, which is going to be a series of like compilations, so they're going to be thicker books. So if you've already read something like Solonin, this is definitely on your list of things to be interested in for next year. So a lot of the titles I'm reading out, they're not like the obvious super popular stuff. There's a couple in here that might slip by the radar unless you're careful. So what else is there? Oh yeah, from Giganto we've got Queen Emeraldas, which is we don't get much Leiji Matsumoto over here. We get some of the anime, but very little of the manga. Viz Media did put out Galaxy Express 999 quite a while ago. There was 5 volumes of that came out, but precious little else apart from an excerpt in a Manga World of Japanese Comics, which was it's like a book with just an example manga printed at the back of it. It wasn't a proper release. But Queen Emeraldas, the anime was pretty decent. If you like your space operas and really cool looking like pirates fighting each other, this is definitely one to watch. So yeah, pretty excited for that one. Also coming out is Giganto Maxia, which I don't know anything about apart from that it's come from the creator of Berserk, and that is enough for me. The artwork is going to be super detailed. There might be some crazy looking monsters in there might be some action. It doesn't matter, I'm going to check it out. I'm not sure if it's a series or just a one-off. It's kind of a shame that working on this is dragging him away from Berserk, which I think is quite popular as they're still making the films of it. You'd think that he wouldn't have time to get away from Berserk, but yeah, he's creating other stuff. So yeah, Dark Horse is putting that out, and that's going to be a good one. Also out next year is School Judgment Gakyu Hote, which bit of a cheat. I've read some of it. It was a Shonen Jump title that Viz Media did run in their digital app, and it was pretty good. It's quite a short manga. I think it's only going to be maybe 3 volumes long, so it's not too large a investment if you're interested in it. It is the same illustrator as Death Note and Bakuman, so if you're a fan of that artwork, Gakkihote's, it's going to be worth checking out. It's basically set around like a courtroom class where crimes go on within the school, and the students carry out their own law and order, so to speak. It's a good one. That's worth checking out. And just a couple of days ago, Yen Press made a big announcement that they've picked up a load of Natsuki Takiya work. So Fruits Basket is getting a reprint, all of it in omnibus editions. So that's massive. That's a big piece of news for shoujo fans. Fruits Basket is just great, and it's significant to like Western audiences because Fruits Basket's one of those titles that it really broke open shoujo. No one really read much of that material before then, but that was the title that did it. That was the one that made the market really open up, and it's good anyway. So significance or not, it's worth reading because it's just good. I won't be picking it up most likely. I do have the original Tokyo Pop set, but if you haven't caught it all before, that's going to be good. It's going to be published over 12 volumes, so it looks like 2-in-1s. Maybe the final volume might have some extra bonuses to bump up that page count, but that's going to be good. Also for Natsuki Takiya, they've also picked up her current series, which was, well, I can't even know how you say that, LISEOLOTTE and Witch's Forest, and one called Twinkle Stars, which it has been published in English but not in America and the UK before, and I don't think they've completed it either. So we're going to have a lot more of her work coming over. There's been a bit of a gap in the shoujo market lately. There's been a few titles chugging along, but there's not really been a big flagship title. This is the year of the Fruits Basket return, so it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And hopefully, legend has it that Furari will come out next year. I do like Jiro Taniguchi work. I do like the kind of material he puts out. However, Ferrari was announced I think about 2 years ago, and I've just been waiting and waiting for it to come out. So fingers crossed we shall see it next year, but it's been delayed so many times, I'll believe it when I've got it in my hands. Also from the same author but coming from a different publisher is Guardians of the Louvre, which, as it's coming from a different publisher, I've got greater hope of it coming out on time. And it's interesting, this publisher has also, they've already put out a manga based on the Louvre from the creator of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They did a title, Rohan at the Louvre. So it seems like they've got a bit of a thing going on with that place. So, I don't know, I'll be checking it out anyway, I think. And if you're interested in Jiro Taniguchi's work, I very much recommend Drifting Neighborhood. It's probably the best example of his work so far in English. But all of his stuff's interesting one way or the other. Well, Dark Horse is going to be publishing I Am a Hero, which it's a zombie manga. I've seen some of the pages and it's pretty insane. For a while it didn't look like it was going to get published. People kept asking publishers like, is anyone going to translate this, and they were getting no responses, but Dark Horse came out of nowhere, picked it up, and yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty messed up, and they're going to do 2-in-1 volumes, I think, thicker volumes. This seems to be the new thing. If it's an older series, put it in thicker volumes. If it's current, then just release it as it comes out in Japan. This seems to be the trend for translating manga now. But I'm a Hero, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna mess you up. One of the few manga, even though I couldn't understand what I was looking at, it still creeped me out just through how the panels were laid out on that. It's gonna be good. Out next year in paperback is Black Clover, which is currently being published weekly on Viz Media's Shonen Jump app, and it's really good. Basically, it's like a shonen version of Berserk. There's no monsters or anything like that, but the artwork style is super detailed, and you just get that vibe from the backgrounds that it's coming from a similar kind of approach. It's like that kind of medieval European setting, and there's magic and it's all going on, but it's also super funny. It's not gross and bizarre and strange like Berserk. It's just people with massive swords and magic beating the crap out of each other and having a great time with it. I really enjoy it so far. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, Black Clover is getting the release it deserves. Also coming from Viz Media is Haikyuu, which is the volleyball manga. It's got a massive following. It sells insane amounts in Japan, and probably simply because it's a sports manga, it's been ignored until now. But you can only ignore that kind of popularity for so long. It already has a fan base in Western territories. It's silly to ignore that. So thankfully Viz Media, they've kind of grabbed it now, and we're going to get it published. So sports manga, I've always quite enjoyed sports manga. We've had a few series released, and whenever I've read them, they're invariably pretty good. There's just something about the competition element of a lot of sports manga. It really fits into like tournament fights of action manga. It's never really been a problem. Like, there's lots of action, there's always something going on, interesting characters, so it fits the kind of manga that is popular in other areas. It's just the content that some people must be put off by, I suppose. Volleyball manga, we've had volleyball manga before. I think Crimson Hero, yeah, it had poor sales and didn't follow through, so Viz have been burned on these things before, but fingers crossed this one will be a lot more popular and it will be really successful. Okay, we've got the OSAMU Tezuka story, A Life in Manga and Anime. This is coming from Stonebridge Manga, they've always worked on books that promote Japanese culture. They dabble with manga, but they don't really get too involved with it. So they're kind of on the non-fiction side of manga and anime. That's kind of like normally where their focus is. So this is an interesting work. It's like almost 1,000 pages long. It's going to be a massive old thing. I'm not familiar with the artist. Toshio Ban might be someone worth looking up. But it's going to be one massive manga about quite an interesting person, like super important to the history of manga in Japan and anime as well. What with Astro Boy, I think it was one of the first anime to come out on TV over there, like in black and white and everything. So I think it's going to be an interesting book to check out. And the final one on my list is KITARO, which is being republished by Drawn on Quarterly. So within the last week or so, Shigeru Mizuki, he sadly passed away, and he was famous within his own lifetime. Everybody appreciated him. Like, he's basically a homegrown celebrity. Everybody loved his work. And now Drawn and Quarterly are going to publish the manga. They did already do like I'm not sure what it was, like an omnibus called Kitaro. But now they're going to publish it in, I'm assuming, to be smaller paperbacks. They're referring to it as being a kid-friendly format, which I'm not sure what that means. But maybe it means it's a book that's not the size of a brick. But it's good. A lot of Shigeru Mizuki's work that's come out so far has been focused on his historical stuff, his World War II material, and he did the work on Hitler as well. He's way more famous for his work on Kitaro, so it's really nice that we're going to get another shot to read all of Kitaro. So there's at least 2 volumes coming out next year. Hopefully there will be a lot more to come. But that's everything that's caught my eye so far. It's definitely not everything that's going to come out next year, and I'm sure there's stuff I've missed, or these aren't to your taste and you've got your own list of what you want to recommend. But yeah, 2016 promises to be quite an exciting year. There's a lot of titles that I think compared to this year, it's going to be better. So it should be interesting as long as everything that's been promised comes out. So that's all good and exciting for the future. And this is Ushio signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.